Hello, listener. Joel and Kyle here, just before we get started with today's episode, to give you a little heads up that we know if you follow football, you're probably tuned in now expecting us to talk about racism, because that's what everyone is talking about in football right now. But we recorded this episode how many weeks ago, Kyle?
2.
At least 2 weeks ago, and it's going out to you right now. So obviously we will be talking about the current racism crisis in football, but we will be doing it in the next episode, which will be the last one before Christmas. How sounds that, Kyle?
Sounds good.
Oh, that sounds good. I thought it sounded sad. Should we get on with the episode?
Let's.
It's the Worldie podcast. The Worldie podcast. It's the Worldie podcast. It's the Worldie podcast. Hi, Kyle.
Have you been watching The Crown?
No.
Land of Hope and Glory?
I've no idea. Listen, I've told you in the last episode, these are just coming out my brain on the fly.
Okay, Joe, you're more cultured than me, so you'll know this for sure. Is Land of Hope and Glory the song that they end the proms with?
Isn't that Rule Britannia?
I think maybe it is, because there was a bit of a furore this year saying, let's change the final song, and people were like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah, because it literally talks about us ruling the waves and not being slaves, but having other people as slaves.
But I think Land of Hope and Glory does as well.
Well, listen, we've got a long history of slave ownership that we refuse to face up to in this country. Hi, Kyle. How are you? How's tricks? We're nearing the end of lockdown 2 as you and I speak. You got plans to have a substantial meal in a pub?
I've got plans to shave off this thing on my top lip.
In fact, probably by the time the listener hears this...
It will be long gone by the time this goes out.
For our listener, will you describe your moustache?
I would describe it as the sort of thing that a teenager might have in the film Napoleon Dynamite.
That is very specific. I'm also being treated, listener, to a real close-up image of Kyle inspecting his moustache. Is it? Some people say like moustache, don't they?
I say moustache.
Is it? What is it? What's the correct pronunciation?
Doesn't matter. It's going off my lip.
Moustache.
Say it again. Although I did actually. I said on the previous episode I discovered whether I could sort of do a retroactive donation, and I could. I did it today, which was for listener. We record this in a bit in advance. On the last day of November, I did a donation, and you still can too. You can do it any day of the year. So go to Movember, give some money towards prostate cancer / mental health and suicide.
And are you raising money, or are you just growing it and then giving the money that you would have earned through shaving for the past month?
Yes, that's right. I've saved money on my barber, and I've given it to Movember.
And barbers are reopening soon, so you could go to it. Well, Kyle, it's a great episode today. I'm excited. We should crack on, as we do have a guest coming in. But before we do you want to explain a little bit about how this episode came to be?
Yeah, it's funny you started the episode with Land of Hope and Glory, Joel, because our correspondent this week ain't a big fan of that song. And she has got in contact with us from the homeland. She's in Ireland. Amy Fleming, our Gaelic football correspondent. She's gone home. She's calling us up. We're going to talk about something apparently that's dear to her heart. She's keeping it close to her chest. I'm looking forward to it. Oh, actually, Joel, if you just check your phone, we've just got a message from her now with the YouTube link to. Okay, well, we'll watch that, and then we'll come back to you with Amy on the line. I wanna kick you in the face.
And we are joined by our Gaelic correspondent, Amy Fleming.
Hello. That's so funny. Sorry. I like my introduction as Gaelic correspondent. Do you want a Gaelic update?
Yeah.
Okay, so this weekend we have the semi-finals of the GAA Hurling All-Ireland Championships. That's happening this weekend. And then the following weekend, I think, or maybe the weekend after. Saturday, the 5th of December, whenever that is, when this podcast comes out. And that is going to be the All-Ireland football semi-finals. So it's all gearing up. It's all gearing up.
A bit of xenophobic ignorance. And bearing in mind, I have actually been taught about this before. Which is Gaelic football and which is hurling? They are separate.
Yes, they're two completely different sports. One has sticks, one does not.
And they're not both the GAA?
They are, but they both fall under the GAA.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm. So you have GAA hurling and GAA football.
Yes, so GAA is like the association that like controls it all, monitors it all. Like what? Do you have FIFA?
Yeah, the FA in the UK or in England and Wales, and then FIFA internationally. UEFA by the continent, but I don't know who else is playing hurling.
Yeah, I think it's just Ireland, maybe in other countries, but because of the diaspora.
Pandemic related question. Will there be fans at these events?
Now, this I'm not too up on. I don't think so, as far as I'm aware.
And which are you more?
However, there's not as much money in Gaelic, so I don't know if even the sports people are bubbling. I don't know how it's working.
Are you more excited about the hurling or more excited about the football?
Hurling. I prefer hurling. It's faster and there's higher risk of death. And I also used to play it.
What was your position?
I was goalkeeper for a bit and then I was full forward. I'm versatile.
Full forward?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
What's the difference?
I don't even know. I don't even remember.
What's the worst thing you did to another human being with your hurling stick?
Oh, I think the worst is a hit to the shins. Other people might disagree, but I think shins when you haven't got shin guards on, which is very likely. It's quite painful.
Ouch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now,
there's a steel bit at the bottom of the hurl or hurley. There's a debate on that, whether you call it a hurl or a hurley. Welcome to our world.
I'm glad you brought up the pandemic, Joel, because Amy did send us a video of due to the pandemic. It seems that the clubs have taken it into their own to sort of keep broadcasting their games within their own channels. So you sent us that link with all these videos of the clubs being commentated on by people within the club, which of course leads to very biased commentary. Mm-hmm. I think, Amy, my personal favourite was the man that just kept shouting, "Take him down! Take him down! Take him down!"
He was great. I love here's the man with the one kidney. He looks like he's playing as if he's got two or more. What does that mean?
That was really good.
That was great.
And there was also one, there was a man, I mean, I really want to do the accent, but I'm just not going to do it.
Just do it. Do it.
No, I'm not.
People make fun of my accent and I am Irish. Go on, do it.
I don't want to be that person. I love you. He basically said, this time last week, he was single and he wasn't in an international final. Now he's married and he is.
That's what can happen. That's what can happen. What a week he had.
So was there a reason why you wanted to sort of fill us in on the sort of commentary situation of the national game in Ireland?
Well, I think commentators are the unsung heroes of the football world. And I feel we've got many seasons on Absolute Worldie and we've not delved into the world of the commentator. And I think it's about time, boys. It's about time. That's how I feel about it.
I agree. We have got many seasons on Absolute Worldie.
Also, my introduction to the world of chatting about sport was They Think It's All Over is now. Do you remember that old TV show? Based on a classic line of commentary, which blew my mind when I found that out. I was like, what a clever title for a show. Well done.
Oh, wow. So you knew the phrase before you knew that it was commentary?
Oh, yeah. I didn't have a clue it came from an actual person's mouth during a game.
Wow. It's so interesting to know someone that grew up in another national identity that doesn't just inherently know that They Think It's All Over comes from the greatest moment of English sporting history.
I know, that's the other thing. It's a big phrase in the UK, but not so much over here.
Wow, I'm so
foreign, Kyle. I'm so foreign.
So They Think It's All Over is now obviously the sort of football comedy sport panel show.
Yeah.
Would you say that in the modern world we are the equivalent?
Oh, 100%. I mean, A League of Their Own is trying, but please, Jamie Redknapp, give it up. It's Absolute Worldie all the way.
If only you were so famous that we could actually get listeners off the back of these quotes.
Come on. I'm super famous in Ireland. You don't know it. I was a teenage pop sensation. Imagine if you found that out. Oh my God, blow your tiny minds. It's not true.
Oh, please. Please be true.
They are the unsung. They are the unsung heroes. Football commentators, says he, brings it back to the more or less to the subject.
To the topic.
Do you know the name of any football commentators, Amy Fleming?
Great question. No.
Kyle, who's your favourite?
My favourite commentator is probably, just because of his name and not his talent, John Champion.
Great name.
It sounds like football.
It sounds like football.
You can imagine him being at the sort of, I imagine it wasn't really a casting back in those days, probably an interview. Are you white? Are you a man? Good, in you come. And him being like, right, we can either hire Rupert Grimm over here, or we can hire John Champion. Who do you want to hear? Whose name do you want to hear before the football?
Yeah, you want John Champion. So do you know how it does work? Because I know my old flatmate did some amateur, well, I don't even know if it was amateur, but like lower league commentary. But do you have to train to be a commentator? Do you just start in the lower divisions and work your way up to the Premier League? Does anyone know how it actually works?
Yeah, I actually entered a BBC Sport competition once.
Shut up.
To try and be the new young voice of BBC Sport. Didn't get it.
They missed a trick.
Didn't they just? It's an interesting question, Amy. There are lots of answers. Okay. One of them which actually splits us into the two different camps of commentator and co-commentator.
Oh, hold on. Okay, go. They're not both co-commentators.
No.
Oh, shut up.
So you'll be more familiar maybe with the sort of the televisual representation of a presenter and a pundit, right?
Yeah.
Commentary happens in a similar way. So the lead commentator will take you through the game itself as a sort of a lead voice, but they turn to their co-commentator. Joel, do you want to fill us in?
Is this why they have, sorry to butt in, is this why they have ex-footballers and they're usually the co-commentator? Is that true? Like Alan Shearer, what's your man with the long blonde hair? What's his name?
Robbie Savage.
Robbie Savage, that's the one.
That's the second shout out this season for Robbie Savage.
Oh, wow.
Hope he's listening. That's the Robbie Savage.
Robbie Savage is from Wrexham, and we covered Wrexham in our last episode, but we didn't mention Robbie Savage, so he'll be gutted.
Oh, he will. He'll be raging. He loves this podcast.
Yeah, yes. So basically, you have somebody who wasn't a footballer. Most of them are journalists who've gone down a sport journalist route. They do the main commentary, and then if it's just a report from a game, or if it's just highlights, it'll just be them. But if it's a live commentary, more often than not, there'll be one person commentating and one person sitting next to them, and that person, more and more these days, is an ex-professional footballer. Some highlights recently have included Michael Owen, Jamie Carragher, Martin Keown, Lee Dixon, all these players who are actually recently retired and have become co-commentators.
I knew one of those names.
It's interesting because it is the Think It's All Over, for example, is famously this important piece of vintage football commentary, but not everyone knows it was Kenneth Wolstenholme.
That is very true. You wouldn't know to name him.
Is he your favourite?
Me? No, I don't. Growing up, I really I like Barry Davis.
Yes.
He was great.
He did tennis.
He also did tennis. Later on, I've really come to quite enjoy Jackie Oatley. I like Jackie Oatley. The phenomenon of angry old men shouting about female commentators always pleases me.
I think you're just talking about Jason Cundy there. Jason Cundy going on Good Morning Britain saying that it was so against women commentators and broadcasters per se, just that the shrillness of their voice was a real turn off.
Shrillness of their voices.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that why they don't have women commentating then?
No, they do increasingly. BBC has a quite a massive raft of female commentators now.
Yes, come on. But that's only in recent years?
Fairly recently. Yeah, no, Jackie Oatley, like I say. Vicky Sparks as well. She's on 5 Live. I really like her. She also does a bit of BT. My favourite, though, is Peter Drury.
I met Peter Drury.
Shut up.
Peter Drury came to my school to hand out books to high achievers.
Only to hire cheap. Surely they don't need the books.
And what were you doing there?
I was
Shade.
receiving my book, and guess what? I knew it was going to be Peter Drury handing it out. So guess what I chose? A football-themed book, Fever Pitch,
Oh my God, you
by
lovely,
Nick
lovely
Hornby.
nerd.
And I asked if he would sign it. He was like, "I'll do it later." He didn't.
Peter Drury.
I've still got the book.
Oh.
Well, look, Amy, I think the important thing here is that you have highlighted a very, very, very underrepresented and uncared for section of football and the footballing world. So what we're going to get you to do, that's right, we've got you on for a reason. I
love a task. Give me a task.
We're going to play you some commentary, and listener, we'll play it to you too. And we would like you at the end of that commentary to evaluate it. Tell us what you think. Tell us what it makes you feel. Give it marks out of 10 if you will. You can even come up with some categories. The ball is firmly in your court.
Nice. Can I approve that one? I like that one. Very sporty.
It's the wrong
very
sport.
Sporty.
Harry Davis, commentator on tennis.
And listener, you may recognise this first piece of commentary.
Now then, Hutke, the referee looks at his watch. Any second now, it will all be over. 30 seconds by. Watson, the Germans are going down and they can hardly get up. It's all over, I think. No, it's... And here comes Hurst. He's got some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now. It's ball.
Kickball with football, yeah.
They thought it was all over. It wasn't. And then it was. Amy Fleming, your thoughts?
I have several. Firstly, commentators have to be super multitaskers, right? There was people on the pitch. The football was still going on. The ref was about to blow it any second. This man keeps his cool, builds attention. And the thing that I think about commentators is they give you the feeling, the way their voice goes. It's like, without them, it's rubbish. I'm sorry. When I go to watch live football, you're like, it's not the same. It's not the same.
You haven't been to enough games with me and Kyle.
Well, I do like angry men who shout at players for no reason. That's one of my joys. But yeah, so some people on the pitch, brilliant. They think it's all over. It is not, like, that's a quality bit of improv. Like, if you did that in a show, you would walk away from that group of audience, like, with a swag. Like, you'd be like, I nailed it. Or, in an argument when you haven't said the thing that you want to say and you're raging, but when you do and you nail it, you're like, yeah, what? I bet he did a little dance. And also, he had the BBC voice. Welcome to the BBC. Like, to keep that going as well is amazing, because that can't be his real voice.
I believe it was Kenneth Wilson.
Really?
That's how he
Were
sounded.
they not all trained to talk like this for the BBC?
He would have been old enough to still have that training for sure. But so much could have gone wrong. He might have coughed. He could have just said it is new. It could have been rumored. He did it. It just everything came together. He could have still said it. And there hadn't have been a goal. If Jeff Hurst hadn't have scored that, it still would have worked, but it wouldn't last the same way. It made it look like he had made that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I would have been still talking about the people on the pitch. He was great. He kept his focus on the job. Well done,
People
him.
on the pitch, they're looking angry. They might be German. They're gonna kick off.
Oh, what's that? Oh, a goal in the last few seconds. Sorry about that.
I actually know that Jeff Hurst, he intended just to absolutely sky that shot. He said, if I can just hit this pretty much out of the stadium, he has to blow up for the game.
Oh, so he was just trying to,
end
the game.
And he scored.
Brilliant. No wonder you all keep talking about that in one game of football.
Yes, it's the best thing that's ever happened to this part of this land.
What are you talking about? Gareth Southgate in a suit is the best thing that's ever happened.
A waistcoat.
Yeah.
Not a suit.
Oh, sorry.
Just a waistcoat.
So, Amy,
Pedants.
marks out of 10 for Kenneth Wilson-Holmes' legendary bit of commentary.
Oh, I mean, that's up there. That's the bar. That's 10 out of 10.
Can't beat that.
Okay, in that case...
we started at the top.
Well, let's not try. No, let's try. Here we go with commentary piece number 2. It's a little bit more modern, and it's something that most football fans absolutely adore.
Torres in. This could be the most dramatic story of the season. It's Torres to give Chelsea a place in the Champions League final. The headline has been written.
Unbelievable!
Kickball with football, yeah.
Oh, listener, you know we're all going to do an impression. Carl, you first.
Unbelievable!
Doesn't need another one, really. Perfect. That was co-commentator Gary Neville absolutely losing it as Fernando Torres scored for Chelsea. Carl, do you want to give Amy a little bit more context and maybe our listener as well?
European Cup Champions League semi-final. Barcelona versus Chelsea. Chelsea far the inferior team. They didn't necessarily need that goal to qualify, but they needed not to concede. And it was attack after attack after attack from Barcelona. They just lumped the ball away, hoping there would be a player to take. And suddenly Fernando Torres, a flop at Chelsea, found himself one-on-one, just went for it and scored. Now, Gary Neville, famously not that into Chelsea, not very keen on Barcelona. In fact, as a player, he was beaten by Barcelona twice in the Champions League final. So my main thinking is, why is he reacting like this? Why is he so invested? And because I think on sort of in my mind, I'm like, well, he's faking this. He's faking a football orgasm.
I will tell you for why, Kyle.
Tell me.
The commentator next to him, okay? Because that man, I didn't even notice the weird Gary Neville thing for a bit because I was so caught up in that this is going to be the most dramatic moment. He was building that right up. I was there. I was like, what's happening? What's going on? I loved it. And then this weird noise came out in the background. And I was like, what is happening? Gary Neville is broken. What's going on? He just sounded like a deflated bagpipe in the background. I didn't know what it was. But I think it was the commentators. Gary Neville was just, amped up because that was happening in front of his eyes, in his ears. He was getting the full effect.
But this is a microcosm of an issue that many people have with the co-commentator relationship. This man's probably thinking, we never know who he is. That's the point. We all know Kenneth Wolfstone because he gets to say great things at the end of a game. This man got interrupted by an ex-pro going, like he could have had a moment. He could have entered the lexicon. Did he get a chance to? No. And now all we think of when we think of Gary Neville is unbelievable. Like, he's had his moment. He was a professional footballer. He played for England something like 75 times. Stop trying to steal other people's limelight, Gary.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you think?
Disagree. That's what I want from my. There's another word for co-commentator, which comes from American sport and professional wrestling, which is color commentator. They add the little slice of color.
The little bit of pizzazz.
The little extra je ne sais quoi. and frankly, that is a je ne sais quoi.
And frankly, that is what Gary Neville did for Man United, in fairness. He wasn't one of the big names, but he added a little something on the side.
He kissed Paul Scholes. He kissed the badge. We actually did an episode with Tuku Barbaros about our love for Gary Neville.
Mm-hmm,
but now I know for sure I definitely don't want to make love to Gary Neville.
I think we all agree on that.
Amy, marks out of 10 for that unbelievable bit of commentary.
It's a 6.
Deserved.
A firm 6 there. Well, we've got 2 more to play to you, and let's not waste any time. Here comes commentary number 3.
And they're Roma have risen from their ruins. Nonetheless, the Greek god in Rome, the unthinkable unfolds before our eyes. This was not meant to happen. This could not happen. This is happening. Barcelona, extraordinarily, 8 minutes from elimination. And Di Francesco does not know where to go. Iniesta does not know where to look. It is a Greek from Mount Olympus who has come to the 7 hills of Rome and pulled off a miracle.
Kickball with football, yeah.
Amy Fleming, your head is in your hands. Tell me your thoughts.
Oh my God, I absolutely adored that. I think, oh my God. It's so epic. Like what storytelling in that moment. And it like just epic language, zinger after zinger, capturing the mood of the manager, everyone around. And he puts the human back into the moment, you know. I bloody love it. I bloody love that. That had me all, I didn't even see the bloody match.
Peter Drury knows language. He knows how to use language. And also another thing to like bear in mind, listener, is he's not choosing the camera angles at any time. He's not sitting in a big sort of chair like in the Truman Show being like, I'll go there now whilst I'm talking. He's just being sent images and having to instantly report on them. But he's also threading those narratives as if, again, like with Wolstenholme, as if he knows what's coming next.
Yes.
How do they do it?
Yeah.
How does he do it?
Yeah. Do you think he just keeps talking and hopes for the best?
A bit of that, but also not hindered by a co/colour commentator there.
Yeah, like Gary Neville would have interrupted that with like, this is Sparta or something. He would have been like, Gary, not now.
I thought the Greek in Rome stuff, it's like the thing is, right? So what's amazing about that, there's an extra level to that, which is the person who scores in that clip, listener, is Manolas, who is the centre back, the defender for Roma. So what Peter Drury has done is in the back of his head, maybe in his prep for the match, he's like, well, Roma have a Greek centre half. I know stuff about ancient Greeks and ancient Rome. Maybe in the bizarre chance that he scores coming up from centre back, maybe I can throw some of that imagery in. And boy, does he throw that imagery in.
It's amazing. This has brought up a question in my mind. I don't know if you're familiar with the film The Commitments, but Jimmy, the manager of the band, it's an Irish band. It's a book written by Roddy Doyle, and it's a movie made of it. He plans his interviews with Terry Wogan when he's famous, and he speaks them out loud in the bath in different places. Do you think that commentators in the run-up to a big match are in front of their mirror or in their bath thinking about what they're going to say?
Practicing. I reckon they practice out loud.
Definitely.
100%. In their car, when they're driving to stadiums all around the country, they're definitely practicing.
Do you think they do that like at the shops? Do you think they stop and they commentate on like, here's Maggie coming now with her shopping and she's coming up on the outside? Do you think they do all that stuff to practice?
I bloody hope so, Amy.
Well, I mean, I haven't lined it up as a clip to play, so our listener and you will have to Google it. But I strongly recommend, as during lockdown, when the commentator Andrew Castle was unable to commentate, he did commentary on his two dogs, and not only was it fabulous, it also got them a book deal. Like, so
the dogs?
Yes, the dogs.
The dogs.
Well, I think him and his wife and the dogs. But
they're brilliant. I love them. I thought they were so good. They were really well done. Maybe that is how they practice.
Just commentating on your life. Why not?
Yeah.
I'd love to imagine living with a commentator. It would start off novel and get very annoying very quickly.
Oh my God. There is a comedy sketch in this. I could not handle that. Christmas dinner commentated. No, thank you.
I can tell you that people all over the country practice commentating to FIFA while they play it. I grew up, and still at 34 years old, I just got the new FIFA. We've already spoken about this in another episode. I don't care.
Sorry, what did you get, Kyle? The new FIFA? Sorry, you didn't mention it. Carry on.
I commentate a lot. I turn the real commentary down because that's computerized and generic, and I commentate my own games.
Wow.
Quietly, because my wife's at work, but I do. And I should be ashamed to say it. I'm not. And I know other people do it. They might only be my brothers, and that might be a sort of thing within our genetics, some weird thing. Listener, if you also commentate your own FIFA games, the help is out there. Find it.
If it helps, I used to narrate my own Polly Pocket storylines like it was an American soap. Is that the same thing?
Exactly the same. Okay. I feel so much better. I feel like I have an ally.
That was a bit gender role specific, which I don't enjoy, but
let's swap.
I would happily commentate on your FIFA games, Kyle.
Before I show you the last clip that I have lined up, and yes, I got to line these clips up, listener, which more on that in a moment. A mark out of 10 for that Greek Colossus.
Oh my God, I feel like I need to go 12. Like I'm sad I scored the other one 10 because that was just epic.
Right,
I felt like I had seen something that I'll never see in my life again. And I didn't even like watch the match. It's crazy.
And it's on YouTube, so you can just watch it whenever you want.
I know I'm going to watch it again. Damn straight. Send me the link.
12 out of 10 there. And this one will not get such a high score, but because I got to choose the clips, we, of course, are going to be listening to a clip that on this podcast had me in tears on the floor. Let's take you back to Ajax versus Tottenham Hotspur.
Sissoko. Here's Dele Alli. Here's Lucas Moura. Oh, they've done it! I cannot believe it! Lucas Moura with the last kick of the game. The Ajax players collapse to the ground. Tottenham Hotspur are heading to the Champions League final with a goal that we just couldn't believe. Jermaine Genius is speechless. Absolutely speechless. And so is everyone inside this stadium.
I can't believe it, Fletch.
Kickball with football, yeah.
It's almost like I'm back there again, crying on the floor as podcast guest Joe Cullen looks on in awe and Kyle frankly laughs at me. Amy Fleming, what have you just heard?
I was a bit disappointed in that one. Because there's a lot going on in the visuals. Pochettino falls to his knees, man, to his knees, and not one person points this out and brings us on that emotional journey. The Ajax players were face down on the floor, not one, three of them. No one says anything about that. I'm sorry, commentary, sometimes you need to say what you see, and none of that happened. I was frankly disappointed.
Do you know what, Amy? I'm glad you said that, because this actually, we've looked at games from different eras, and I think this game being only 2 years ago, what you're highlighting there in your dissatisfaction, I think, is a fall in the general quality of commentary and a higher credence put to the co-commentator. So you could see that Darren Fletcher, that guy's name is, he knew that it would be a story for him to turn and say, my co-commentator, the famous ex-footballer, ex-Tottenham player, Jermaine Genius, is speechless. In another era, if the co-commentator ain't doing any co-commentating, they'll be sacked.
Yeah.
Get them off.
Yeah.
You don't see Jim Beglin not talking when there's a breath to talk. He'd jump in there. Genius, step up. Joel.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's my favourite thing is I was leaning in. You two were just watching. I was leaning in because you can literally hear him. You can imagine he's taken his headset off. He's trying to he's gone mad. He's jumping up and down. He's trying to get it back on. And all you can hear is, oh.
Yeah, these co-commentators are just making random noises in the background. Like, why are they there?
They're already multi-millionaires. Let someone else do it.
Right.
Well, that is our final clip, Amy. Mark out of 10.
Oh, that one was shoddy. I'm gonna go for 4.
Fair enough. Well, you've been very judicious in your marking. You've been very considered. You've had some harsh words for some of it and some positive things for others. So what Kyle and I thought we would do after this break is we thought we would play you some clips and ask you to commentate on them.
Yes.
And we'll be right back with that after this.
We are a team of men. We play football and we're gonna win the cup that everybody covered. So it's big, shiny, and it's made of gold.
Welcome back, listener. I've been joined by the commentator and co-commentator pairing, Amy Fleming and Kyle Ross. Lovely to see you both. And thank you so much for agreeing to demonstrate to the world just your innate abilities to describe what you see to our listeners.
Your ears are welcome.
So without further ado, here is our first piece of commentary from Amy Fleming and Kyle Ross.
Okay, Blue Stripes have it. Blue Stripes is coming towards the luminous man, is trying to stop it. He's got none of this. It goes back to the other striped man. It's going away. What happened? Straight from the middle, straight in, up in the air, down again. I can't see the ball. How did they look at the ball?
Go in?
I don't know. It keeps bouncing around the place. It's like we're on a foosball table. Come on. He's on his stomach. He's standing up. He's trying to go for it. He's trying to save it. Oh, fine. Come on. Someone get this goal in the back of the net. We haven't got all day.
This is a football. This is pinball.
That's right. I don't know nothing about football.
Kickball with football, yeah.
Well, I don't know about you, listener, but that painted a very clear picture. I saw stripes and neon. I heard the line, is this ball ever going to go in? And then I just sort of felt anger There was a lot of anger in that commentary that hadn't really been in the clips previously.
To defend ourselves, that was our first try. We'll improve. As a
True that.
co-commentator, Amy, it would be nice if you left breath pauses for me to come in.
No.
No, not going to happen. Okay, let's see.
No, you need to find your Gary Neville moment.
Okay,
Get in there, all right?
I'll be that type.
Also, it's much harder than you think to find the ball. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, in that particular clip, it was a goalmouth scramble with 8 shots on target, none of which went in, including one that hits a player who falls over in the box. So there you go, listener. And if you saw that in your mind's eye, great commentary, Amy and Kyle. Moving on, here is commentary number 2.
We're in Paris has the ball. They're coming towards the net. Lovely pass there. Past the neon goalie. Oh, right. Just on the line. It didn't cross over. It just kept in the corner. What a beautiful. Oh, he looks so sad. He's devastated.
Amy, he's literally stopped it from going in with his own foot. He's defended it when he was supposed to score it.
We've heard of our own goals, but never our defence. What was that?
What was he thinking? He stopped it from going in. Choupo-Moting, what a chump Moting.
That's right. I don't know nothing about football.
Kickball with football, yeah.
What an epic thing to hear. You've heard of own goals, but you've never heard of own defence.
I mean, I think that's a classic line that's going to go down in football history.
Also, Choupo-Moting, chump-o-moting.
That was very nice. It helps, I think, when you know the players' names. I am like, I don't know who
It's
I'm watching.
interesting though, like being being in the commentary box with Amy. I'm always decrying in real life how mean they are sometimes. Like sort of like trying to find a headline scandalous. I did it. I jumped straight to it because I thought the people remember this.
Yeah.
Yes, listener, what Amy and Kyle were describing to you there was Choupo-Moting, Paris Saint-Germain footballer, essentially probably the worst miss I've ever seen. Extraordinary. In fact, I felt like both of you could have gone a lot deeper into your anger there at just the terrible football that you were seeing.
I'd like to say that he now plays for probably the best club team in the world, Bayern Munich.
But in that moment, he was yes, indeed, a chumpo-moting. You're getting better. Let's go on for clip number 3, and here it is.
The goalkeeper is about to kick the ball out. We all love this moment. Hope you fall over. Oh my god! A naked man has come in and he's taken the ball away. They cut to the crowd. Oh, he's got a scarf on. A policeman comes in, dodges him.
Wow.
A security man's trying to grab him. He's dodged them. He is doing an excellent job. He's done a cartwheel, folks. He has done a cartwheel. Oh, the managers don't know what to do. People don't know what to do. He's dancing with the pole very well. Excellent sneakers, by the way. They're white, they're clean.
Oh,
there's a man at the back. He didn't do anything.
He's taken the pole, Amy, and the crowd are on their feet.
Oh, he's hopped a fence. Policeman's after him. He's out block 45 if anyone wants to go find him. Lovely.
He's back.
He's back. He's jumped over the fence. Cameraman doesn't know where to look. Love it. Yes, he's got a long scarf. Oh, there's a little child there. That's going to scar him for life.
That's right. I don't know nothing about football.
Kickball with football, yeah.
The best piece of commentary so far had no football in it and was just about a naked man running around.
I mean, it was the best piece of streaking I've ever seen, Joel. It deserved that level of top-notch commentary.
You know, give me one man over 22 to have to commentate over any day. That's an easier job.
See, I take the 22 men. We're very different people.
I also, you know, I wasn't sure about. There's a naked man. He's got a pole. I feel like that may have been a misjudgment. Possibly the corner flag would have been a better use of terminology for the listener who cannot see what you're talking about.
Well, then you need to get on commentators who know what the things on the pitch are called. You're lucky I was even able to say the word men.
Amy did ask what training commentators received. The answer on the Worldie show, none.
Nope, we just spring it on you with no prior warning. I like the fact that we know he went off in block number 45 and came back in a different block. That was really clear.
Thank you. That's the level of detail I want the fans to have.
Kyle, that was a perfect opportunity for unbelievable.
Yeah, I struggled. I'm going to be honest, I struggled with that one.
Well, here is our last piece of commentary, Amy. I'm excited. I feel like you've both warmed up a lot. And of course, we have saved the best till last.
Okay, currently everyone's a bit spread out. I'm waiting for the goalkeeper to take the kick. Oh my God, there's a dog on the pitch. A black dog with a white belly. He's running around. He's having a great time. He's having the time of his life. Look at him go. He's free. He's free. I'm free. I'm out in the open. I can feel the wind in my hair. I'm a footballer now, Mum. I love it. Everyone doesn't know what to do. They stand around. Oh, the goalkeeper's interacting with the dog. He's reaching out a hand to calm it down.
I hope he's not allergic, Amy.
Well, he's got gloves on. He'll be fine. Oh my God, the dog wants a belly rub. He's rolled over on his belly and he wants a belly rub. That's it. Go on, put your hand on him. Stop playing around with his face. Rub his belly.
This brings a new meaning to going down in the box.
Oh dear. Oh dear. This is why we should have co-commentary in this day and age. Oh, there's a man on the pitch now. He's got a high vis. He means business. This is it. They're trying to get the dog off. The players are involved. The dog just wants to live out his dreams.
The players seem to be appealing to the dog like he has a human brain.
Oh, they're doing drills now. They're doing that side run that you always see when they're in training. The side shuffle. They always show that one, don't they? It's a very popular training manoeuvre.
And he's off.
Give him some snacks.
That's right. I don't know nothing about football.
Kickball with football, yeah.
I'm not going to lie. It feels like what training that football commentators need is just do a little bit of talking over 3 clips. That was perfect. I was watching that. If I'd had my eyes shut, I could have seen it as well. I bet you did too, listener. How did that feel, guys? You were a fighting team. You even had a little bit of banter at one point when Kyle made a joke about going down in the box. It was, my heart brimmed over with joy for the dog, joy for the two of you as a commentating team. I had no idea what the game was, who was playing, what the score was, or the scenario, but my gosh, was it clear commentary.
That is the level of detail I want in my commentary. I loved it. Kyle, I did not appreciate your joke. I think that was clear. But other than that, I really...
Why didn't you like my joke?
I think she might have thought it was a crass comment, but going down in the box just means falling over to get a penalty.
Not to a woman.
Oh.
Not to a woman.
What does going down in the box mean to a woman?
And on that note, thank you so much for joining us, Amy Fleming. It's been an absolute pleasure. You are our most commonly occurring guest, and every single time it is an absolute pleasure. We love to have you. You are a Gaelic football correspondent and now a professional football commentator. We look forward to hearing how that career progresses as time wears on. Thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. I can't wait to come on again. I will send you all the commentary I do in my daily life via voice notes on WhatsApp. You're welcome. And yeah, thanks a million for appreciating the silent heroes. Well, not silent heroes, are they? The very vocal heroes of football, our lovely commentators.
Hey, Amy, keep us up to date with the finals of the hurling and the GAA football.
Yeah, and remember hurling's GAA too, kids.
Hurley.
No.
That's right. I don't know nothing about football, but I love my friends, so I watch it for them.
Kickball with football, yeah.
Well, listener, if ever you thought that Joel and Kyle were the greatest audio pairing of all time, as if anyone's ever thought that, well, you've been proven wrong, because it turns out it's Amy Fleming and you. What a commentary team. I'm so impressed, Kyle.
I feel a newfound respect for the co-commentator, Joel. I thought it was we've often said it's a piece of piss. Like, you hear Glenn Hoddle say something stupid, or you hear Gary Neville go, and you think, I could do that with my eyes closed. Turns out it's really difficult to find the right moment to come in. It's hard. It's a skill.
I thought you did really well, personally. I'm sure our listener could tweet us at Worldie Podcast and let us know what they think, or maybe even send us voice clips of you doing a bit of your own recording of your own commentary just around the house as you hoover. Oh, look at that, getting into the corners there. The dust will not escape. It's been sucked up as we expected. What a turn up for the books, or something along those lines.
That was lovely.
That was me improvising, commentating about hoovering.
Only on the Absolute Worldie Football Podcast will you get Hoover commentary. You didn't know you wanted it. You do. And we would love to hear yours. Send it in. Send it in.
Catch us on Instagram where, Kyle?
Absolute Worldie Football Podcast. It's a long one.
It's a long old Insta tag.
Every time I tell my wife that our tags, our handles on our different social media don't match, she basically tells us to just give up. That is the cynics, listener. Find our different handles. They've all got Absolute Worldie in them somewhere.
Tweet us then, Carl. Where can they tweet us? Where can they tweet us?
At Worldie Podcast.
And the Instagram again?
Absolute Worldie Football Podcast.
And the email?
absoluteworldiepodcast@gmail.com.
And how many stars should our listener be smashing down to give us via their podcast listening app?
However many you think we deserve.
Five.
Five?
We will see you next time, listener, where we will do whatever this thing is that we do yet again. Hope you enjoy it. Let us know if you do. Get in contact. We love to hear from you, and we will love you until the day we stop loving you. Goodbye.
Oh, unbelievable episode, Joel!
That was the Absolute Worldie Football Podcast by Kyle Ross and Joel Samuels, with theme music by Adam Janota-Bazowski and Amachada Patel. Absolute Worldie is dedicated to the memory of Liam Seeker. Please do remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us at Worldie Podcast on Twitter, Absolute Worldie Football Podcast on Instagram, and drop us a line anytime at absoluteworldiepodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and goodbye. You know, when they start that, oh God, chew. I'll start that again. Just chew.
I'm sorry. I forgot I was on a
timing.
podcast.
A fucking carrot of all the choices of food. There's an outtake.
Carry on, back to football.
Kickball with